Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Beyonce.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality gate. Let's love. Y'all, this is Reality Gaze.
Hello.
And Poodle's talking about his faggy hand.
No,
the limp wrist.
it's like that God kind of.
You're
thing.
not the person from the Michelangelo painting on the top of the Sistine
I'm
Chapel.
just saying, I love a graceful hand gesture.
The shit you must think about or look in the mirror when you masturbate, I bet it's beyond all of us.
It's just like my face is like.
Y'all, this is Reality Gaze.
This is Reality Gaze Part 2. What's the name of this episode?
Part 2 of False Starts and Promises.
I don't think we said that on the first episode.
They got it. But it is Season 5, Episode 5. It's a good episode.
I think we're a third of the way into this season.
Sure.
So, y'all, that fist is a third of the way in.
I like you. You're so like... I love this about you. You're still like quantifying. Okay, well, if this episode happened, this episode, then we're a fifth of the, and I'm just like,
I'm numbers.
I'm here for the ride until we're over.
No, it's for me. It's a numbers
Y'all,
thing.
I swear to God, Poodle sat in our hotel room, and
This is 100% true.
He for about 20 minutes. He fucking calculated based off of
Merch
how much
sales.
our bags weighed at the air, those duffel bags, how much the duffel bags weighed at the airport.
Fucking duffel bags.
And then how many shirts we brought. And then he calculated
How many we sold.
how many ounces each shirt weighed.
And guess what? I was right.
And he figured out the weight. No, you were wrong because you said, I think we sold enough. We should be fine. And he
that's right, I
calculated
was
the weight,
wrong.
So that way we wouldn't have to pay the overweight fee at the airport. Because our bags were like 65 pounds each when we checked them in.
But now they were only like 50-something each.
You were angry because we missed one bag by 2 pounds.
But I was so tired, I didn't want to...
You were so tired.
I was so beat down at the airport.
Y'all, because we got stranded at the airport for like 10 hours because they took us
Not
off our
10
plane.
hours, 6 hours.
6 hours, our flight. But we finally got in. But we're glad they did it. The plane wasn't safe. So
Face itches!
And then they resat us on the plane... And they put me in...
I don't want to even talk about this. I hoped you would not bring this up.
They put me in like Premium Plus for United.
Which you did not pay for.
And I did not pay for it.
You did not pay for
They
it.
bumped me up, y'all. It was like 2 seats. I had a reclining footstool. I had like ambient lighting. I could change the colors of the light. Was your television screen a 20-inch television screen in front of you?
No.
Okay, because they threw Poodle in like the back 5 rows.
I was next to the bathroom. In row 40.
But it was an aisle seat.
With the dogs.
There was the dog.
And someone who had 5 children.
I saw that
And
family.
a mother kept saying, I swear to God, you're going to bed early when we get home.
Everyone around me slept. It was very pleasant.
I was given the dregs of a seat, but
And
I paid
we
for
paid for
premium.
Economy Plus.
We paid for Economy Plus. So you got promoted.
I did.
And I got demoted.
It's
Y'all,
true.
We booked our tickets at the exact same time.
We did.
There would have been no reason to treat these tickets differently.
It's foul play. I'm sorry. Let's hope it doesn't
I
happen
don't have
again.
the best travel karma. I will say that. It's
y'all,
not.
I
good.
have never in my life had a mechanical problem and had to deboard a plane and wait for another plane until I took a flight with Poodle.
They did say
Never.
So the problem is this plane will not get us to Los Angeles. Whereas I was like, does that mean the plane just falls out of the sky about somewhere over Utah?
It'll get us to Phoenix, and then it's done.
I just love the way they talk about it. They're like, so, ladies and gentlemen, this plane will not get us to Los Angeles.
It was a big plane, too.
It was a big plane.
The jets on that was like 4 people high.
I'm happy that they were able to find another plane. There were people in the airport that were acting like that they were so put off by it, like they were all of a sudden like a Bosnian refugee with PTSD. They were so upset by it.
Yeah.
I thought I handled the delay quite well.
I think we both did. Because
But
we know, like we said at the end of last, we know people are doing the best they can. Y'all, it's a mechanical error. It's not the airline. It's not United's fault.
The flight crew, and they're like, so what do you guys... Should I book another flight or what? And they're like, we're the crew. We know just as much as you do. We've been here as long as you. And that smile is just plastered on their face. And one guy's like, they're going to let you know something as soon as promised. She's like, trust me, we're in it just like you are. Yeah, stay smiling.
They're like, go away. I'm trying to have
yourself.
some semblance. Now, I will say, it wasn't cool that whoever loaded the food just loaded the hamburgers and salads for first class and forgot to load any of the other food. So we just got drinks.
That's true.
And United sent us a voucher, but they didn't specify in the voucher. The voucher was for airport use only. So
I didn't know that.
All these people were trying to use this $10 voucher and learned it's not on the plane, you idiot. It's while you're stuck at the airport for 6 hours. So we went and paid for our meal at Chili's when we could have got into discount.
No one gives a shit about any of this. We're going on and on and on.
This is first world problems, and we know people are really going through it right now.
But I will say, travel delays suck. Y'all be kind to your flight crews. Be kind to your airport workers. Be kind to your gate agents. Everyone's trying to do the best they can.
That flight attendant is doing the best they can. And with you screaming is the reason why they're fucking a different man in every city. Because they've got to get the pain away.
The only time I did, you weren't around me when I said this. But there was the gate agent said, and let's say, kind of saying, you guys, we cannot take 45 minutes to load this flight. We did this once before. You guys know how to do this now. Let's quickly board this plane once we got a new plane. And there were people trying to decide what seat they wanted to sit in with the groups, and it was the holding of the line. I went, Jesus Christ, we already did this once. And a woman looked at me. She's like, sorry. I was like, that's a mother poodle.
But that is not an airline thing. That's people being stupid.
That's people being ridiculous. And they were holding up the line. And at one point, the flight attendant heard me do that. Yeah, you guys going to move on. Everyone was so done. There was no time for stupid people.
We didn't even board in groups. We all just kind of meandered in. You know what? No one cares about this story.
No one. I'd had it.
You had turn on the timer.
Ow! There.
All right. Y'all, today
Oh.
we're talking about 3 couples.
Announcements. Y'all listen to the first episode.
Yeah. Listen to that.
Let's just say Chicago. We had a great time in Chicago.
We had a wonderful time. Darcy and Stacy did start tonight.
Yeah.
It's starting as we're recording this
And
episode.
y'all,
the twins are back.
Our New York shows, I can already tell you right now, those shows are going to be lit.
I think so too. I'm excited. Chicago
I'm excited
was
to see
wonderful.
our friends in New York.
We're going to see our ACAST friends in New York. It's going to be a good trip.
I'm already planning the New York musical number that hopefully I won't change at the very last minute. But
Let's
if I
see.
decide to do it, I will, because that's my prerogative.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
It's New York. You got to sing.
Maybe, also, you got to dance when you're in New York. Maybe I'll break out my tap shoes and I'll do a little tap dance. You want to dance with me and since you're such the good dancer now?
Yeah, I can't bring your tap shoes. It'll scar up the floor. It's a requirement of the Gramercy.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yep.
I'll throw a little salt down and do a soft shoe.
And I'll throw marbles, showgirl style. That's what I'll do.
That's what I'm dealing with, everybody.
My nose itches. Okay, I'm going to shut up.
That's about it. Chicago was great. I will
We
say.
had a lovely time meeting a lot of great people.
I'm
Great
still
sissies.
thinking about Chicago pizza.
It's very, very good.
If somebody could bring it to me right now, I would want it.
I want to give a shout out to where we ate. We ate at Maple and Ash.
That was great.
It was a high end restaurant.
Yeah.
A little pricey, but it was totally worth it.
It was one fancy meal. The rest
Yeah.
of the time we ate garbage. Not garbage. It was good.
No, I'm 40% cheese
Yes, we had
and 30% beef.
We did have Paisanos. That's a Chicago
Yeah.
pizza chain. Several
was really
cities
good.
recommended. Some of you are screaming and saying, "No, you want this?" You know
Fuck
what?
off.
It was.
We did the best we could.
It was -12 below, and it was the closest
It was
that we had heard of.
so cold.
So cold. So cold.
I wasn't made for it. I screamed, "How do people live in this?"
You did.
But then there were the obligatory straight men running around with like cargo shorts without like coats. Did
Yeah.
you see some of those?
There was, yes.
It was like -3.
You wanted to sleep with them, and so did I.
Point made.
Point made. And we went to that Sephora. Y'all, I had to go. This is how bad it was. I had to go. The first night of the show, I put powder on our faces, and it just chalked on our skin.
You
because
talk about that. I don't know why that's remarkable.
the skin, because your skin is normally not that dry, but because of the heater and everything. So, y'all, of course, the next day, I had to go to Sephora and get a cream blush.
and my bag fell off my shoulder
And
when I got
so
to.
you had to get a new bag.
Yeah.
So we got all our accoutrements, but in the Sephora,
I bought a bag by the time you were shopping at Sephora.
I was still looking at things at Sephora.
and I'm like, I bought a bag.
And that was great. But we're at Sephora and we hear, "How did you get him? No. And I felt like this was a gay sign. Things are looking up.
There was a Thunderpuss Whitney Houston remix on at Sephora.
And not Whitney Houston, Deborah Cox.
Oh, Deborah Cox. And this queen was like,
We were like dancing together. He was helping me find cream blush.
"Oh yeah, girl."
We went with the NARS orgasm, the multiple. It was great.
No one cares.
Someone does. Let's move on.
Let's talk about this is part 2. Y'all, we're talking about Alina and Caleb. So it is post their evening where they had their first kiss. He
Yes.
is shirtless in their bed.
He is.
And she's like, "Sup?" And they're kissing some more.
I don't like their bed
The
talk.
narrating, you mean?
It's like when he was making out with her before, and he's like, "Oh, hey you, you guys." I'm telling you this now. If you're with someone and you're making out with them, and they stop and look at you, and they say cute, clever things they think are clever, like, "Oh hi," or "Oh hi."
Didn't see you there.
Didn't see it. That person.
Thanks for being in my bed.
That person doesn't know how to be intimate, and they're a douche.
I might have said that in my 20s.
Did you know how to be intimate in your 20s?
No.
And you weren't a douche.
You didn't either.
No. In my 20s, I would have been like, "Oh my God, he's so funny. He's so clever. He could be a comedian."
So they're like, "So how you feeling?"
I want to date a stand-up comedian.
They did not have any
By
sex.
the way, sorry, Bob Saget,
I know.
R.I.P. That one hurt. In the words
Oh
of-
my God! You know, I just said some jackass is going to say this one hurts.
It does hurt.
I called it out.
I watched them so much.
I will say it. I know when people I say this one hurts. I'm making fun because people say that a lot. So it's like it's almost.
I don't say that,
But
a
I'm
lot,
but I'm
but I
saying
get it. A lot of
it
people
sounds like you're saying now this death is important.
Yeah, I get
so
that.
It's that tendency that bothers me about it. I think the thing is he was 65 years old and he died in a hotel room.
Yeah.
So I don't think they said it. They think it might have been stroke or heart related,
Possibly.
but I don't think anything's been released. So prayers going out for him and his family. People have been more outpouring on social media saying, "Well, just a generally lovely, nice
That's
guy
what I always
he
heard.
was."
He told filthy jokes.
Yeah.
And what a nice guy.
Oh,
y'all,
his joke in The Aristocrats was the dirtiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I need to watch that again. That would be a good,
fabulous movie.
Y'all, if you haven't seen that movie and you're like, "I just need to laugh," that
Yeah.
movie makes you laugh so hard. It's
I
so
saw it in
good.
the theater and I my stomach had hurt from laughing.
Oh, it's so good. But anyway, even MK and Ashley made a statement, and they don't.
And
ever
they
talk.
never talk.
They never talk. And Jodie Sweetin did a really sweet. She did a really sweet post, and at the end of her post, she was like, "But she said, Bob, something like, I hate that you're gone too soon. How rude." It was so sweet. It was really sweet. That made you tear up
A little bit.
Anyway, sorry.
Allergies.
Anyway, let's talk about somebody who doesn't make us feel Caleb and Alina.
You know, the thing is, it is this kind of like they're completely. It's for the same reason that Ximena and Mike are extremely compelling for me. Mm-hmm. They have completely forgotten the cameras are there. Alina and Caleb are aware every single moment.
That's why, I'll be honest, y'all. I think they're probably fine people, whatever. But I don't trust, as a viewer, I trust you on screen when I feel like you're being authentically yourself.
Are you talking about me or talking to me?
So like,
or you're
just
saying
people when I watch them on TV.
A metaphorical.
And that's true for fiction, reality. As if you're an actor, if I don't believe you, I don't trust you.
The
so I don't
same.
believe, and it's the same for reality. Like, I think that's why I do love Darcy and Stacey. Now, look, it's a fabricated reality show, but Darcy is this raw, beating nerve that can't help but to sabotage her own self by her own just anxiety. But it's real and it's authentic. I get the same type of, in a way, from both of them that I get from the Big Eds. The people that I just never settle into their story because I just feel like I'm being played. It's the same vibe I get from Stephanie. When you're never being real.
Don't. She's in a whole other league.
But it is that same, when I watch all of them, it's because oddly enough, on Single Life, Jesse and Yennefer, I don't feel that way. Because
they're not real.
They are being themselves because that's what their selves are. They're that gross people.
Yeah, but there's nothing there to begin with.
There's nothing there to begin with. But yeah, I'm just I know everybody really hates on Caleb. And some sissies don't. I see the broiness and visions. I don't have the hate for him.
I think she's chasing social media.
But I think they're both clout chasers.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yep. So they. This is what I don't. We're into this thing where I think she's very overly analytical of everything that's happening because this is all a fairy tale for her, and she's like, it was such a passionate kiss. I kind of wanted something more romantic, and she's like, kind of like a movie again. This is not real.
She actually said, I wanted something like in a fantasy. She said that, or fairy tale.
Yeah,
she said that.
And
Caleb's like, yeah.
And then she was saying things like, I'm very confused about how this is going to be. And so she's upset that they have not had sex yet. It's been 2 nights. And here's what someone said in our Facebook group. If you swap the genders, and if Alina was a guy who'd been very upset he had not been able to bang this chick that he'd brought over, we would be up in arms.
Yeah.
About it.
We would. That's the deal. Honestly, do I think Caleb's into her? No.
He's not.
I said that a lot. I don't think he's into her. But also, I feel like like I said on the second episode, I feel like he's having a very human experience of meeting someone that he visualized, I think, her life differently. And also, too, I just think he's not... I just don't think in a way... I don't know if Caleb is either not emotional or... It's like when he tries to be emotional, I feel like he's reading from a script of what emotion's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not in a sociopath way, but it does feel cut off.
It's the camera. He doesn't want to be... strangely, this is the ironic thing. He's afraid of how he's going to come off on camera.
He doesn't want to be the asshole.
But he turns out to be the asshole because he's being so guarded.
Yes, because he does. Because y'all, we don't think he's into Alina, and he doesn't want to be that person that dumps a little person on fucking
Exactly.
television.
And what's weird is she, in all of her talk and all of her in the moment, says, I'm an independent person. I want someone to treat me as I am. Everything is this kind of, which sounds like it's advocacy and activism on her part, which is great. But then in real life, she's like, I want to feel that I want you to do things for me, and I want
She'll
you to
feel
pick me
little
up. I
and
want
take care of
yeah.
you, put me
So
in a
it's-
carrier.
It is. It's a strange.
It's mixed signals.
Yeah.
Mixed signals that he's sending, she's sending, and he's giving her mixed signals because I think probably online he leaned into this protector, I'm your man kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And now that he's there, y'all, he's like saying, which is a legitimate concern. You know, not everyone is a poodle. Y'all, poodle.
Thank God.
No
there
ma-
can be only one, like Highlander.
It's true. Whatever
I'd kill another one.
Whatever poodle looks like, whatever you look like, act like in the bedroom, if poodle's into you, he's into you. He's going to find a way to fuck you.
Yep.
The first time.
I'm gonna find a way.
Caleb, you got 4 legs, he'll figure it out. 2 dicks,
I'm creative.
That's happened before.
Double the pleasure.
it's happened that for. They didn't call him DP his freshman year for nothing.
And it does not stand for director of photography.
No.
Let's be clear.
Let's be clear. But I think Caleb is still.
There may be a photographer invited.
Maybe. But I think Caleb is
That's your
still,
phone.
It's a prank caller. Or not prank caller.
Spammer.
Yeah, that's
You've been playing on my phone.
Yo, that's
Ty.
That's Navi at Student Loans prank calling me.
That's Ty. So who's playing on my phone?
It's y'all love After Lockup. It's so good. But I think
I'm still thinking about those flow charts or those vision boards.
she's crazy. But where he's like, I don't know how to make love to her. Like, I don't know logistically how that's going to go. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yep.
I think that's a very human,
And it's honest.
and it's honest.
Yep.
And it just doesn't go over great,
No.
but it's honest at least.
That's really important, what you just said. It doesn't go over great to point out things like that and to say them in a way that people would rather not hear.
It's bad, yes, because I would think if I was in that situation and I was in my head going, I think I'm into them. I think I like them. Maybe I don't. But I want to figure this out. And I'm on this show. And I would say something like, I just want to be a gentleman and give it time. Like, I would totally frame it in a different way.
Oh,
he doesn't.
I don't think he could. I don't think he was going to be perceived in any way aside from how he is being, no matter what happened to him.
I don't think
him.
he would have won at all.
No, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
He would be perceived. Y'all think about this.
If he wanted to go right
Are you
away.
giving Caleb a fair chance? Meaning that, would you have been angry or upset with him no matter what if he didn't say, oh my God, I'm just so effusively in love with her from the get-go? Would you?
Right. And I'm not even trying to defend him. I'm
I'm not getting defended, but
yeah.
I don't think he's getting a full fair shot from people.
I agree.
I think people are coming at him a little too soon.
But and at the same time,
Cut to some
says
shit happens.
she says things like she is so insecure about the way she is perceived from men, especially because of course her size is. She is different from most people. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, that's in the back of her mind every single time. Mm-hmm. And she says, even in the moment, she says, am I really that different? And I think we're supposed to say, no. But then you see her physically and go, yes, you are. Your physical capabilities are quite different.
They're different
Than
and
that.
And that's just the best word for it. Different. And so how do we navigate this together?
Right.
And do
I think you're exactly right. In there is no good way. That's not a way to put it. There's no easy way to depict this on reality television.
There's not.
And especially where it's so easy for us to jump on teams, team so and so, team Alina, team Caleb.
Because I'll be honest, I don't care how much you pay me. I would not have done what Caleb did. I would not do that on TV because I would be worried. Like, I'm really into this person, but what if I meet them and I don't, and then I'm that asshole?
Yep.
I would never have done it.
Yep.
Ever.
Totally. So the next thing they're going to, and it's.
But I do think he wants to open his own line of gyms and protein powder.
Totally. So they're going to go to the gym. He's putting up her hair. Now, I think you can view this in two ways.
Okay.
I think you can view this as him suggesting
They're going to work out together, y'all.
I want to show you what I do.
Yeah.
And I want to see what we can do. I want to see what your capabilities are here, and I want to see what we can do, what we can share together. And because she's doing curls and sit-ups, like, try to kiss me. So he's framing it in a way. I've never seen a gym date really work that didn't feel strange. Or you can frame it in a way.
You know what? That a lot of people go to the gym together. I don't get that either.
You mean as a date?
Yes.
Oh,
I do not.
That's terrible.
I don't get that. But like, I know like muscle queen gay guys have done that, and I know a lot of straight people that have done that.
On a date?
Come at us, sissies. I feel like I've heard a lot of my friends say they'll go, and it's not like you do a crazy work, and it's somebody that you've known for. It's not like a first or second date. But yes, people do this. I don't understand it.
I can understand a third or fourth date,
but I think it's because y'all
gay people, I could see them just fucking in the steam room after.
Poodle and I probably have a different experience because I'm that bitch that throws up on the treadmill. So you don't want that to happen. And Poodle is that bitch that like after the workout lies there and you think he's screaming, but he just keeps like sighing to get out the pain of what just happened.
It's not fun for me.
It's not fun for me either. It's excruciating for us. But I think though I think this is his joy.
But the other way you could see this is people would say, "Oh, he's just making her do something that he wants to do."
No, I think this is his hobby.
But no, I'm just saying this is the way people are seeing this. For everything they're going to do, we're going to flip this into two different lenses.
I bet she'll end up taking him to like a music concert or something because she should. But maybe not because of COVID.
So there's a way where we would see him as the asshole for making her try to do these things. However, she's more than happy to try these things.
Y'all,
and I'm like, good on her for trying to do. She's even trying the treadmill, and it looks really hard for her.
But here's the deal: you are not seeing Alina as a full embodied person.
Exactly.
If you keep defending her for decisions that she is capable of making,
say it for the louder in the back.
Because you got to realize, y'all, we're trying to be good people, and we
want to empower her.
We want to empower people, and we also just want them to live their fucking life, and for us to see them as humans. I believe her when she says, "I'm a badass bitch.
Yeah,
I do what I want to do." When she said, "I'm not a thirsty ass bitch."
Mm-hmm. She is thirsty. She's incorrect there.
But I believe that she is a confident person, and she's really accomplished. If she didn't go upstairs to look at the mosque. She
didn't want to
him because she was fine not doing it. And if she doesn't want to work out, she doesn't want to work out. She would tell him.
Yep, I agree. So y'all, they are going to see her friend Maria, who she went to the university with.
Yes,
they've been friends for 10 years. He is wearing the douchiest like shirt.
He is.
It is like roses with like barbed wire.
And he even says like, "Oh, I put on my nice shirt for you." And Alina said, "Oh, did you?" Well, okay.
I'm kind of okay with it because that's just her personality. Sometimes it gets a little too cutting because he doesn't really get back at her. He obviously
doesn't.
And so she what I wrote down, what the fuck are they drinking? What is in these cocktails? This
I don't know.
Bright red like devil punch.
I don't know.
So the Maria wants the 411.
Maria has beautiful eyes.
So what do you think? Producer setup, because this doesn't seem like it's someone who really wants to meet Caleb, and it seems like or everyone in Alina's life thinks they are her protector.
I want to say it's producers, but I worry about that. I worry about that people, because a lot, obviously we talked about this on the live show. Elijah He thinks that.
It's codependence too.
Did you order your
for him.
teacup, by the way?
I need to get that for the props. Y'all, I made those poor people in Chicago at Lincoln Hall find me a teacup.
Shout out to Autumn at Lincoln Hall who
Just
had to go run around
this
and
terrible,
find
abusive monster. I need a teacup now.
Literally Poodle said 30 minutes. Y'all, we're going to be really easy. We're going to be really easy. We're not going to want anything. And he's like, excuse me, Autumn.
A teacup.
I need a teacup and
She's
a
like, would a mug
saucer.
work? No. That won't work at all.
Not a mug, not at all.
And that's more of a plate, not a saucer.
I need a very dainty, gay-looking teacup.
I really did say this.
And to her credit, she found
one.
She found
But
one.
everyone in the place knew I'd asked for a teacup.
Everyone knew.
Even the bartender's like, you get your cup?
Y'all, because that's the deal. Poodle says he's not high maintenance.
I'm easy.
But what have we learned? People that say I'm not high maintenance,
Oh, we are.
say it with me, they're high
But
maintenance.
I'm very appreciative when you find me things.
You are. And you're high maintenance.
Maybe. You know what? I'm worth it, too. I'm fucking worth it.
Good.
So they are. So she just
Yeah,
just
she goes in
starts
hard.
in, and it's like, so tell me about everything. How'd you meet? She's like, actually, I made him a kind of a mail order bride video. It's like, this is what I am, Caleb. Blah blah blah.
And we actually saw the video. It was
It's cute.
It's funny. And Caleb was like, I love that she had like a sense of humor.
And
But I think also, I just want to add, I think that like bedroom talk, I think both of the way they talk to each other, I think they talk to each other in that flirty, I'm not really telling you what I think language. I think direct conversations are really hard for both of them.
100%.
And when you're navigating all this, you need to be direct as possible. Anyway, I just wanted to say that.
She basically, Maria says, so what are you going to do? Live together in Russia or America? What's going to happen?
Caleb's like
Rough fucking you right away. Now, and also, Caleb does say this, and it comes off because his delivery is weird. He's like, but this is a great conversation, but I think it's the one that me and Alina should be having.
His delivery made it sound like kind of controlling.
Yeah.
And douchey. I don't think he meant it that way, but maybe so. I'm just.
It is a fair thing to say, though.
But it is a fair thing to say. And she's like, well, sorry I'm asking these questions, but I'm a friend. But again, it's like, but people do this on 90 Day Fiancé. Mothers do it, cousins, friends do this all the time, like asking, what are your intentions and things like that. But we even say to them, like, this is something that should be worked out between the couple.
Even Alina says, let us have our time.
Then they start full on talking in Russian.
Now, there was a lot of talk about this because people say, oh, people from other countries, people have always done this on 90 Day Fiancé. That's true. However, this is reason why this was exquisitely rude. Because both Maria and Alina are fully capable of speaking in English. They spoke Russian directly because they did not want him to understand what they were saying.
That was the only reason they spoke Russian.
But I'm saying online, this has been a question. People have been downplaying the idea that this was rude.
No, Ximena speaking Spanish in front of Mike is fine because neither of them speak each other's language.
So that's what I'm saying. They are speaking in English because it's the language that all three of them can speak.
And also, I wouldn't be bothered if someone said, honey, we're going to talk about real quick, we're going to talk about this theater show we saw, or we're going to talk about this thing right now. We're going to talk about it in Russian.
Yeah, but it wasn't prompted.
But they're talking about him.
And
on top of that.
And what happened right before it was a confrontation. So it was obvious that it was something about him. And that's when he just went, so I'm just going to be over here. And again, it sounded rude because that's his delivery.
But I think that was
valid.
I think that was valid. You would have screamed and said, are you going to talk about me like I'm not here?
Don't talk about me like I'm not here.
That's
I'm still Magnolias.
And so they go back from the way Maria, and
drink your juice, Shelby.
Drink your juice. And Caleb says, he said, your friend is making points, but she's making points, he says, off of limited knowledge. He said, and I know we're making up for long-term plans, but we're trying to, I think he's just very analytical or the way his brain thinks, because this was a very non-emotional way of talking about her relationship. I think Alina thinks all emotion. I think a lot of this is, again, I go back to, I think they're both acting for the cameras. I don't think either one of them is an asshole person or anything like that. But I think they are trying. I don't think either of them are trying to con the other person. I think they both, though, they process things completely different.
And I think they both process things very slowly.
Yes, and Caleb is saying, so, yeah, your friend's making points without limited knowledge, but actually we're finding out the information now, trying to...
Yeah.
It was just
Which is why a lot of people choose online relationships. For
It's
people
true.
who process things slowly so that you can actually take your time.
I would not take 13 years to fucking meet somebody in a relationship. So I agree with this. I agree with everything Caleb's saying, but it literally sounds like an engineer is talking about data.
Yeah.
And not a relationship.
She does apologize for speaking Russian, so she knew it was a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, I appreciate you for saying that.
And she said, I'm sorry my friends were too pushy with you. He's like, I think it is a good conversation to have. Maybe just not now when we're just getting to know one another.
We just want to know.
And trying to figure things out.
And he said, you know what? She was nothing compared to that bitch with the teacup.
Y'all, you weren't at the live show, but I reenacted his physicality. I even exited the theater like he did.
You did.
Yes.
Like a prancing queen.
Mm-hmm. Those of you at the New York show, a red wig will be purchased. So I'm going to bring props this time. We're going to have a steamer trunk for all my props.
You're going to carry that at the airport?
No.
You're going to ship it?
I'm gonna
ship it like you think Mother Poodle
like,
only costs $10 to ship to New
I'm
York.
gonna bring along like a Rosie Jetson style robot
to
take our baggage.
Yeah, that's what you need. So y'all, they get back to the hotel. He lifts her up and kisses her, and as Bonnie Marr would say, my mother, this is some heavy.
This is heavy. Put his hands on her ass. She's
just unbuttoning his shirt.
Up. And I will say, I was one of the people who was kind of, I was taken aback by him just kind of throwing her on the bed.
Yeah,
like
I was watching this
potatoes.
at the airport yesterday, and Poodle was watching me watch it.
Here's the thing, though. I think
she wants it, though.
Yeah.
She wants him to throw her on the bed like a sack of potatoes because she wants to feel little and small and protected by him and his big arms.
But I've got to say, how else is he going to do it? And so... So I've kind of gotten over that. It is kind of remarkable to see that her being thrown. Anyway, y'all,
I had a man throw me on the bed once, and I got into it.
So they're making out. She's taking his shirt off. They're grinding. It's a little hot.
They've never done this in 90 Day Fiancé. They turn off the lights, and then for like
the
3 seconds, we just hear.
This is the thing. I'm no. I'm certain about this, and I'm not going to budge. This felt like the longest time they've ever stayed in the room. The crew has ever stayed in the room.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They usually don't stay in the room this long.
I think a cameraman named Ed saw some cunnilingus.
And it's rare that we've seen the lights off and hearing sounds. Yeah.
And we do find out, y'all, spoiler alert, we find out next episode.
I took a ride on his disco stick. Because of course you're quoting Lady Gaga to Elijah. Yas, bitch.
Yas, bitch. So they fucked.
P.S. There is a way you can take a vocal coaching session with Elijah for like $18.
Because he's that good of a singer?
No one ever said that.
I kind of want you to take
Have yourself a very little
I kind of want you to take it.
I kind of want to and film it.
Just to wow.
So I can report back?
Yeah.
I really should take it.
Maybe, but he probably listens to us talking about him.
He might.
So he might know who you are.
I could put on a fake
or might not
mustache.
Who was it? He could be like Harry from Too Hot to Handle. I was like, oh yeah, we covered you on a show. I'm Maddie for the reality gaze. Who? Never heard of you. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay. You're really tall. Just take the picture, Harry. Okay. Is it Too Hot to Handle coming back?
Yes. I don't think we're doing it.
Y'all, I don't know if we're going to be able to do Too Hot to Handle.
We're getting raw dogged.
We're getting raw dogged by I know. Sorry, Patreon. Sorry, Patreon.
Patreon.
But we're getting raw dogged on the free feed. You're getting a lot of free feed content.
Yeah. We're going to talk about me, Memphis, you, Hamza.
Right. Yes,
right after the break.
Yes.
I don't know what this is.
Oh, it's the instrumental version of a country song called Memphis, and they fucked it up.
You're on fire tonight. Again, I'll roll with it.
We had a musical malfunction in the first episode, part 1.
This is Memphis and Hamza. Mama Hamza, Mother Hamza's just making up the bed. She is mother poodling big time. She's doing a lot of sighing. She's wringing her hands.
But she's so beautiful. You've watched a lot of these movies. She reminds me, I can't think of them. One of those kind of pretentious movies where just women had to be kind of beautiful and stoic and hold all their pain inside.
Yeah,
that's this woman.
Like my pilot for Salt Wives.
Yes,
that I really want to do.
Yes.
Y'all, if anybody knows Frances McDormand, we've just I haven't written a script yet, but I know just with the I'd just give her the idea, she would sign on.
I'm sure.
It's kind of AMC, kind of. I think I would get more control, I think, at AMC, creative control, but the budget would be bigger at HBO Max or maybe Amazon Prime.
Possibly.
Prime Video. Yeah.
Possibly.
Franny McDormand, Connie Britton. I call her Franny because we're friends.
Okay.
Connie Britton. I think I said before, Alfre Woodard. I love Alfre Woodard.
Love her. She's from Oklahoma. You know that? She's up by Tulsa.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And remember their husband, they're away, they're fishermen's wives, and a man dies every time. And they have to comfort a grieving widow.
Sounds uplifting.
Gold, Jerry. It's gold.
And then who would be the comedic actress? Would this would be their breakout where they're doing something dramatic? Because they always have that.
Oh, good point.
You got to have a comedic actress, someone real funny that knows.
Chelsea Peretti.
Oh.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, okay. There you go. We might know somebody who knows Chelsea Peretti.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Fine.
All right.
So, y'all, Mama Hamza says, I warned him so many times. God only knows what happened in that room. There's someone who knows what happened in that room, and it's the cat who was in that room going, meow. Y'all, that cat's eyes.
I wrote, cut to the cat.
That cat's eyes like, I saw everything.
When they cut to the I laughed. I laughed in public. And Jake looked at me because we were sitting in the airport watching the show.
I was there the whole time.
I saw everything.
And so, y'all, Memphis has, she says, I don't know what to do because Memphis.
You weren't supposed to sleep out there.
Well,
did you think your mother heard anything?
Then she says, so Hamza decided to sneak into my bedroom last night and
I couldn't resist.
I couldn't say no. So, but I wasn't.
But I don't want her to know that we had sexy time.
But I did. I wasn't. But I didn't say no because I really wrote down. I really need to test drive that dick first.
I needed to just get on it and
because you guys, this is all one big dick tour for her.
It is a dick tour.
She doesn't give a shit about this man's mother as far as she is useful to her.
It's fucking an exotic man.
Exactly. I'm saying she doesn't care about Hamza's mother. She only cares about her in a way, or her or his sister. She only cares about what's favorable to her to get what she wants.
She only cares about what she wants in this present moment way. She doesn't even think far down the road. And she's like, but I don't want her to know he had sex this time, even though it was really quick. Yeah, it was really quick. It was bad.
You goes that moving the goalpost thing that I always talked about. We're moving the goalposts. We're moving the goalposts. So now she's suggested that she's already put out in his head that if they don't have sex before they're married, or if they don't have sex, she will not marry him to know.
And
so that's set.
Now
that was the goalpost. Now the
in
goalpost
3 weeks,
is
she needs to have mind-blowing sex that couples work months, years to create.
And I don't know if you guys are aware of just the status of just sex in the Middle East or Middle Eastern countries, especially Muslim countries. Things just aren't talked about. Like he probably doesn't have access to porn. Yes, he's probably slept with people, but it's the sexual.
Beg your pardon.
Yeah, he may not even looked at it.
What do you do?
But I'm saying it's not a cultural thing. It's like shamed.
How do you get your willies?
I'm trying to make a point of this.
What do you do? Jack off to Bugs Bunny in a female dress? What do you do?
Yeah, I think that's okay. No, but I'm saying, what I'm saying is just Middle Eastern culture. It's just not as sex just isn't talked about in the same way. Even if it's a quote unquote more forward thinking Muslim country like Tunisia, it doesn't matter. Yes, he's had sex with that many women, but it's not that he's going out every night and doing it because it would be looked down on.
Yeah.
And so to just even talk about sex this way, and the fact that they can't even speak the same language, he's just kind of like, you can just see him just not getting it.
No. And but she doesn't tell him this shit. She just says he needs to build up some stamina or this is going to be a problem. Meanwhile, Hamza says, I am happy. Big boobies.
Boobies.
Big boobies.
No, you have to say bobies because he says bobies.
He just says
so anyway, y'all, did you notice when he was trying to clean up, he looked so good with his hair kind of mussed up?
Yeah, it looked better.
He's the hottest cast member this season.
He's a very good looking guy.
He's hot.
I need he and Yusuf to fuck each other. Yeah, they're very hot. So, y'all, not only was she complicit in this, she now tells Hamza, basically, go lie to your mother and tell her nothing happened because I don't want her thinking bad things of me. And then she just kind of says, go. And I went, this guy, I will say, this guy's a fucking man-child.
He is.
He's such a young boy. Like, this guy, this is...
So he says, go lie to her, make me look good. I don't want her to know we had sexy time. But she is in the moment. She's like, well, he was so quick. And to be honest, it was bad.
It was bad. And so he goes to talk to the mom, to Frances McDormand.
She's like, don't tell her we...
Yes.
That's me putting my finger in and out.
And he goes over there and he's like, Mom, and the mother's sitting there and she's kind of like, hello. Y'all, this is beautifully
She's got
shot.
a little bit of a working class Juliette Binoche to her.
Juliette Binoche. That's it. That's who she reminds me of.
But Juliette Binoche usually plays a little bit. She would play characters who have a little bit more aristocratic.
Well, if there's something about his mother,
maybe Juliette Binoche in Chocolat.
I think his mother is classically beautiful.
Me too.
She's just that type of beauty.
But I'm saying Juliette Binoche rarely plays characters that have been beaten down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never know. But that's who she reminds me of. Thank you. And she, y'all, she's sitting at this,
I love his mother.
Modest table in the kitchen. There's like beautiful morning light. Like it's just, it almost feels like
it feels like
film.
it's in a play too.
Yes,
it feels like it's in theater.
And
she's wringing her hands. Yeah,
he walks in and she's sitting there, and he said, "Hi, Mom. What are you doing?" And she's like, "Sitting,
just sitting."
And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Well,
this would be it would." Juliette Binoche would play her, or Meryl Streep if it was a big budget movie.
Yes. And so the mom says, well, I just, I want everything to be traditional as we agreed.
He says, well, Mom, she came from far away and wanted to sleep with me. So he kind of blames her.
He kind of blames her. And she said, he said, you know, nothing happened.
She's like, are
And
you
she-
mean to tell
and
me
she just shakes her head.
a
Yeah.
man and a woman lied next to each other and nothing happened? Well, with this one it did. You would believe
That
it.
one too. Yeah. Nothing, you
You would believe it with us.
my Juliet, your mom, you're safe. Your daughter's safe with me. And so the mom, he says, no, nothing happened. And she said, stop lying to me and don't make me even more disappointed. And and then like a play, he just kind of sits there in silence, and the camera focuses on his nervous leg just twitching up and down.
And the cat's back there going, meow. I saw it all.
I saw it all, and I'll tell you, it was some freaking shit.
So, y'all, he's a terrible liar.
And then Memphis walks in.
I about lost it. She's like, hey,
Hey.
everybody happy?
Everybody happy.
Happy, pappy?
And then the mother looks up, kind of broke, and wringing her hands, going, "What? What happened? Are you pregnant? Is that what you're saying?" Like that's her
This-
fear. And Hamza says, "No, Mom. She wants to know, are you happy? Are you happy?" And she goes, "Yes." And she was happy, and then kind of fake smiles and went happy. And I went, "This is gut wrenching."
Well, this broken American woman.
this scene had pathos.
This American woman comes into this family whose rules she doesn't even understand or doesn't even care
Who
about.
already feels like an outlier family.
Yeah. And she just goes, I don't give a shit about any of your
And
rules.
so
We're going to
now-
do things my way. If I want my dick, I'm going to get it.
Because now, what their mother is thinking, she's not even really thinking about herself. She's thinking, my kids already have been othered.
Yep.
They cannot other themselves more. Mm-hmm. What is going to happen to them? The pain that I went through, and y'all, let's get to that. Let's talk about that. So she says she's happy. And so,
So they're out touring,
yes, Memphis and Hamza.
and she says, me get exercise or me get fat.
And he's like, no, baby, no fad. You beautiful, which is nice.
So they're in the market. They're barely communicating. And you guys, we had some people say, I don't know why Memphis, or I don't know why Hamza, he was like, he's always on his phone. He's not paying attention to Memphis. He's on his phone because he's translating shit to say to her.
He's translating shit to say to her. And so, y'all, they go, they're walking around. It's beautiful where they are. And they go and they sit down. And she's like, I want to talk to you. Actually, it's going to be time.
Yes.
Y'all, I think it's time. The boy. I don't know where this one's going to go.
I have a feeling this is going to go down into one of the most cringeworthy scenes in Before the 90.
Agreed. Let's take a little scene that we like to call reality gaze theater. Barbecue sauce.
All right, I'll be playing the role of Hamza. You'll be playing Memphis. I assume. Yeah, it's not far off. Her voice.
His voice is great. It's
Yeah.
gross. It's really infantile.
Yeah, it is.
Ugh.
I swear to God, there was something about her from the first episode that just horrifies me.
Yeah.
With her, the way she talks about it, and also it's just hard to watch her reenacting all the childhood trauma that she had out on these people who don't deserve it.
Agreed. All right. So, and action. Hey, baby, can you just sit?
Hi.
Can you
Boobies.
just sit here?
Boobies.
What? Yes, I
Boobies.
know you like my boobies. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Funny
Beautiful.
thing about my boobies. Can we talk about last night?
Oh, wonderful.
Last
Wonderful.
night. Can we talk about the sex?
Sexy time.
I'm doing my fingers again. You know,
That's
with
an
the
offensive
whole-
gesture.
And the whole, with the sex, you know, you ejaculated quickly. Ejaculated.
No, understand.
Ejaculated. You cummed. You know,
No.
no. Okay, you
No.
you know when an elephant like puts water in his trunk and it goes woo and it sprays out. You know, you did that
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You jizzed.
I'm a sexy boy.
You dick spit.
I'm a sexy boy.
You are a sexy boy, honey, but you cummed real quick. You know, cum or what do they call
You
it?
don't like
man
it?
juice.
You didn't like it?
No, it was too quick, baby. It was too quick. I need you need to your jizz juice needs to take longer.
Okay.
I don't need the
Okay.
peen nectar so quickly.
Peen nectar.
Peen nectar. Yes, that's what it is. Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
You have sexy time again?
Yes, I don't know. When we have sexy
Now?
time, no, not now. This is public. When we have sex, the schlong water needs to come out longer. Schlong water, you know,
Longer.
schlong water.
Longer.
Long, yes.
Schlong water.
Yeah, your snake venom. Snake venom.
Yeah.
I don't want you to strike until after a while. Not like a cobra, more like a python. They move slow.
Got it.
Then they later.
Got it.
Just I need you to drill me down. Do you know drill, honey? Just long time, okay?
Boobies?
And sing.
Y'all.
I don't know how many more times she could say the word
She
ejaculation.
kept saying, "You come fast." And he was just like, now, number one, and I'm not saying that men are fragile about this kind of stuff, but we are. And
He kind of wasn't.
he didn't understand. I don't think he understood.
But when the producer later brought it up to him, he said...
He went, I think the last time I had sex with a woman was, and he probably doesn't masturbate. He's like, so the last time I had sex with a woman was 8 months ago.
But he also said, what a beautiful thing to say about somebody. He said, I couldn't contain myself because she's so beautiful.
It's just that there are so many ways this could have been brought up, and none of them are on camera. And there were so many ways to talk about this in a way that says maybe we could take some more time.
Jake, what did you just say? What is the sentence you just said? You just said there's so many ways to what?
That we could talk about.
They can't talk to each other.
But I'm saying it's still ridiculous for her to say you need to come slower.
No, because again, it's all about her.
Yeah.
It's not about y'all. If I was with a guy who came too quick, and believe me, it's happened. Once they get a little ginger snapped.
Oh,
and it's just
there's one guy I'm with, and he's just choice cut, just the best penis. But his weakness is he can't last very long, and I think I'm the reason. Ugh. Mm-hmm. The reason for the season, as they say.
Yeah.
But anyway, he basically.
But
says,
no, but there's ways to say. I think I would definitely either have a conversation or in the moment I would just say, no, I'm not ready yet. I just love being with you, whatever.
Now,
Poodle never did that. Give it to me now.
And
my hole is thirsty.
I can never be satisfied.
My anus is parched.
hopefully we just reality gauge someone with my hole is thirsty.
Spray my prostrate.
Wow.
Treat it like a punching bag.
Pachoom, pachoom, pachoom.
In the same breath, he says, so, she says, have you ever fucked a girl at your house besides me? Like this is some type of badge of honor?
No.
This is when we get into this area of like her. It's
And he's
so
like, no.
gross.
He says, no, I haven't. Only you.
She's like, oh. But she needs to be validated. So
She
this sort of
does.
thing. And then she's like, so I need your mother to understand that I'm a good person.
He's like, yeah, she's mad. Yeah, she's mad.
Yeah.
She was like, no mad. He's like, well, she's mad.
And he's like, she says, but my thing is, I don't want her as mother to think bad of me. However, if we can't share a bed, we cannot build intimacy. Again, this is all on her terms.
Yeah.
Because she's decided
Now, I will say,
I've had a marriage.
I will say he did lie to her. He did tell her it was fine for her to sleep in the bed.
That's true.
So we have to remember.
That is true.
So she might not have come over at all, although
That
I
is
doubt
true.
it. So it is shitty on him. He did, but y'all,
Yeah.
not as an excuse. He's a man child. He's going to tell her things she wants to hear
Just
for
to
the
get her
rest of the
bobies.
relationship.
Her bobies.
Yep.
Now, the next scene They are gutting fish, and she cannot handle it.
I love this, but y'all, because Memphis is like, I got to do whatever the fuck, because I fucked her son in his bed, and mom's pissed, and I got to fucking gut a fish.
And y'all, Tunisian Juliette Binoche is like, this is how it's done.
This is how
and
it's
she's like ripping there. And then you see Memphis take a butter knife and try to scale that fish.
Yeah, she's like,
Did you ever have to clean fish as a kid?
Oh, I
did.
hated it.
I didn't like it either. Shocker.
My grandpa would usually do it.
Because you're like, oh, Pappy, please don't make me do that.
It was, for me, it wasn't the touching of the fish. It was the smell. They just smelled so fishy.
We were delicate boys, y'all. We weren't made to do things like that.
Poodle would catch a fish and then try to throw it back in his wishing well.
Son, that well is dry at the bottom.
You know what? One day,
well.
if you own a house or either rent
I'm building
a house,
a wishing well.
You need a wishing well.
If I can just stare into it.
A little, fill it with like
Wishing well. Can you tell me your secrets?
like a little koi pond.
the way I tell you mine.
The one that used to have, I think they remodeled it sadly, but remember that house on Larchmont used to
Yeah.
have one? I think they tore it.
I had that wishing well. That wishing well held so many secrets. I would tell that well.
I know.
No. Ooh, boy. Now sometimes the wishing well will go, didn't need to know that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that translator. And Mike and Jimenez, please stop.
Like the cats. I've seen too much.
Ugh.
So Hamza's mother says, if she can't cook fish, what is she going to do? My son's going to starve to. Can you do couscous?
Pasta.
She's so mom is just saying like, look what you did to this fish.
So they're sitting there eating. They cut to Juliette Binoche picking a bone out of her mouth, which was chef's kiss.
It is wonderful. Now, Mama Hamza, they're kind of sitting there, and you think everything's okay, and Mama Hamza says, "So let's talk about yesterday.
So let's talk about
You were
yesterday.
supposed to be here, but you wound up in there.
Tonight, I need you to be here.
Here, and you in there." Now, to Memphis's credit, she says, yes, I will do that. Because this is some bold-faced confrontation. And I love it.
Will they keep it?
I doubt it.
I think they'll break it. And y'all, if you get up in the middle of the night and go fuck your girlfriend, mom's going to know.
Yep.
Mom's going to, they always
And what's
know.
more, that cat's going to know. The cat's going to tell her mother. So they mom says, I need to talk with her, and I need you to ask her why she divorced the two men before you. I need to know. And so she said, I don't know why she thinks I've only been married twice, because I have a man, because I guess it was better for him to say you've had two marriages instead of you had children out of wedlock.
Yeah. I said, I bet Hamza lied.
Yeah.
Or he didn't understand what you fucking said.
Well, and I think this is complete ignorance on Memphis's part of coming into a culture where she was just thinking she was just going to share, just going to be like, here's my life, deal with it.
I mean, y'all, it is a blessing that I know we have our problems, but we are very advantaged that we live in a country, the U.S., or even if you live in Canada, that we live in a country where people can generally, for the most part, unless you're a woman in Texas, you have freedom over your life, and you can live your life, and
it's not a state-based. We don't have a state-based religion yet.
And separation of church and state, y'all. But this is a completely. So I get that there's no way for you to even fathom this, but at the same time, you're so right. Do your research, talk to other people, learn what this is about. This isn't just with Brittany and Yazan, where she's they don't understand me. No, y'all. People get imprisoned in certain countries. People get hurt. This woman gets shunned from society because she's divorced.
This is absolute dick colonizing.
Yes.
She's coming over there with she's just trying to put a stake in that dick. And
Yes.
she's going to take that dick back with her. Doesn't matter what happens to anybody else. She doesn't give a shit about anyone else's rules.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about staking some dick. Sorry. I really.
But no,
Really?
you're right. And she says, she was talking about this, and she says, Memphis says, it wasn't a good marriage. We were more like friends. And she's like, okay.
Well, and Hamza, you have Hamza translating, who doesn't speak English. So he looks at Mom and says, they were friends.
Now,
Which doesn't make sense.
and so Mama Hamza says, I'm worried that you will divorce my son because my husband was unfaithful and left to go with another woman.
And she starts, not just.
This
not
was
just-
hard to watch.
She just starts crying, and Memphis goes, "Oh, she's sad," and I was like, "You have a nurse practitioner degree in mental health, and you just said she's sad." But y'all, we find out they did an interview with Juliette Binoche, with his mother, and she talks about how it was so hard for her to raise
two kids on her own.
Because a lot of times in these cultures, if a man leaves his wife, they start a whole new family and they forget about their kids and everything.
Yep.
She had to do everything on her own, where women make less than men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not.
It's hard for her. She said before, it was hard for her to get a job.
This is not fucking, this is not She-Devil or whatever. Like, our first watch in chat.
I like it how you're treating it like She-Devil's normal.
But
Like-
I think that some people think, well, you just get up and do it. And you
Yeah.
just this is not that situation. And she is just so wrought by this. It broke my heart that that's what her biggest fear is.
Yeah, the most
That this will happen to her children.
the worst thing about this is just how cavalier Memphis is of coming into this family and not really thinking about the consequences of anything what she's doing.
Yeah, I bet that they were going to put her on the other way. And then, oh wait, no, because she's not moving.
No.
She's just, that's why.
No, she's here to pick up her dick and she's going to leave. They're going to get married. She's going to take her dick back.
So we're 5 episodes in now. Who do you think of all these couples has the best chance of being on 90 Day Fiancé?
I still say Mike and Ximena.
I guess that would be, because I don't really think Mike and Ximena, but then I can't think of anybody else. Maybe Gino and Jasmine only.
Oh, I love that.
Only because Gino is so beat down, I could see her convincing him to do it.
Maybe.
Although I don't think she seems like she really wants to live in America.
Yeah, she loves Panama. Panama.
Anyway,
I think they're going to explode. It'll be Memphis who decides she's done with Hamza. It's not going to be the other way.
oh, it's going to be just like Brittany Diggy's on.
Yep.
Where Brittany was like, they wronged me, da-da-da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Can we talk about Johnny and Ella?
Ella.
We start with Johnny.
They're separated. Yeah, they're kind of separated out. Yeah, we start with, because they're separated because.
Gotta keep them separated.
So yes, can I just say something? The music that always plays before Johnny's segments, it's always like Asian inspired music.
Yeah, it's always Chinese sounding music.
Chinese sounding music, yes. But it's always like to like some type of dance mix. It kind of sounds like the music that they used to play from like Street Fighter.
Yeah, it
whenever
kinda
like
does.
all the Chinese, well, they wouldn't say Chinese, they were just blanketed
Yeah.
Asian. Then those characters would come out.
I think Chun-Li was Chinese.
She was
Yeah.
Chinese, yeah. She was my favorite. Wasn't she the one that had the little hair braids and then
Yes.
she'd spin upside down and kick you?
Yeah.
I wonder if those Street Fighter movies are good.
I don't know.
I don't think they are.
This is me trying to move on.
Okay.
So Johnny is. I actually like Johnny.
I love Johnny.
Me too.
I forgot about Johnny. We were talking like I just love the energy of him. I like him. Mm-hmm. And he just seems like a normal guy.
Yeah. He's with his son Stoney, and they're fishing, and he's waiting for the travel visa to go to Singapore. Stoney says, "I'm 5 and I like ice cream." Me too.
I'm 35 and I like ice cream.
Plus 10. So I liked it when Johnny was teaching Stoney just like English phrases. And just like playing in, and this is how quickly children will pick things up. Walking through water. They just say it.
Walking. And so he describes, I'm glad that they gave this moment to give clarity, because some people are like, I can't believe he wants to live his kid and da-da-da. And he says, it's very common for the grandparents to take care of grandkids in China, especially when so like parents, when he goes off and works in the factory, this is not like the USA where people work 40-hour work weeks.
No, you stay there at the place.
You stay there. You don't get weekends off.
Yep.
You go and you work for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to make money to provide for your family.
Then you go back and you're on like a vacation. Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
You stay at your work.
Yes, it's different. It's just not the same. So again, there's that. So he only has a few days to be with his son.
Did you ever hear those reports with This American Life about Foxconn, the Chinese company, where the quality of life, people were jumping off buildings. The guy who did it said that he stretched some of the story, but it was the first kind of expose on life in those Chinese big workhouses of tech and things like that that are in the bigger cities.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a tough way of life.
And Apple's the first $3 trillion company in the world.
Yep. So anyway, he's talking, saying, I feel really guilty about leaving Stoney for this long. I already can't spend a lot of time with him, but this is the only way I'm going to be able to see if at least he's not taking his kid to meet Ella.
No.
So y'all,
it's not like he gets time off again. So this is why he's quitting his job.
So he's with his mom and dad. He's frying shrimp, and of course, like a good mother, she's like, "Don't crowd the pan.
Don't crowd the pan."
They're making dumplings, and mom does say, "Now, Johnny, you already have a failed marriage, so you need to be careful."
And he says he wants to take care of his parents because his parents are taking care of his son, and he said several times his parents are getting older, and he worries about just their health and them getting along. Whereas mother is like, yes, you need to be cautious. And then Johnny said, but Mom, did you know why my first marriage failed?
And Mom's like this, poker face. What?
He's like,
say it.
Yeah, I think it's because
parental involvement.
The problems, yes, with the mother-in-law.
And they had his parents argued with
He said, my
wife.
mom and ex-wife were always fighting. So now we see, this is probably why Johnny's thinking about making a big move, because
she's like, did you hear him say, because if you don't know each other's language, you can't have conflict.
Yeah, because Mom's like, what if I fight? He's like, I'm always a translator, so I always...
You know what? It's kind of genius.
And it made me laugh.
Anyway, so Mom says, why don't you date a Chinese woman? A Chinese wife is here. And he does say, he's like, the reason why it's hard for me to find a Chinese woman is...
I just want to clarify something. The reason Poodle's about to give is not like when Memphis says, it's just so hard to find guys to date here.
No.
So I've got to go. I had to go on like TanzaniaHotties.com or fucking, what is it, Gabby? It's just, I'm a high maintenance woman. It's really hard to, so I had to go to prisonmen.com to find a man.
This is because of the policy,
reason.
The Chinese government policy of one child because of the overpopulation was happening. It's now not as much. They've relaxed that quite a bit.
But it was one child, and y'all, they preferred it to be male.
Yeah,
which
so
is why
he already has a son.
This is why, for some of you Carl's wife, they didn't know this. This is why there was a huge uptick in adoptions of Chinese girls.
Yes.
Because they were stuck in orphanages.
Yes.
Because families had to give away their child.
Yep.
Because A, if they got pregnant again, or B, so they could have a son, because sons could work and take care of them if they're older. If they had a daughter, they were fucked.
Yep.
This is his reasoning of wanting to go to America and find a date. But you know what? Memphis, it's hard for her to date too.
Ooh. So he basically says, and the mom says, so how are you going to support us? How will you get a job? and she's like, it's fine. She's like, and the last thing the mom says is, I'm worried about you. I think you should stay in China. Y'all,
she said that, and I went, he ain't leaving.
You don't go against your mama.
You don't
Especially
go
a
against
mama who's giving you side eye like that the whole time.
And a mama who's taking care of your child.
Yeah.
Y'all, he ain't
So let's
leaving.
go to Ella.
There's a better chance of Ji-hoon traveling to see Devin than Johnny going, oh, Ji-hoon and Devin.
Oh, that was a different time.
I'm sad that they had a kid because he really got a gift of not being married to her.
Right.
But now that poor kid.
Oh, she's an absolute nightmare on social media, too.
She's a raging narcissist.
So, y'all, Ella is waiting for the visa, and she's going to the gym. She's like, before I got here, I said, I want to lose 10 pounds, at least 10, hopefully 20. And
I went, you don't know your clear goals.
It's interesting because she gets to Planet Fitness, and what do we always say?
You don't get buff at Planet Fitness, y'all.
Yeah,
you
maybe
can't
she
get
could lose some weight, though.
But you don't get buff at Planet Fitness. But here's the deal. But I want to, before she got to the gym, Ella said something that y'all, you're not going to believe me when I say this. You are not going to believe me when I say this. So I'm telling, especially if you are a woman of a bigger size.
I think I wrote the same thing down.
You are not going to believe me when I'm telling you this. And I'm going to tell you, I promise you, believe me when I say this. If you are slimmer, that does not mean men will be into you.
Amen.
I promise you. I did the same thing. I moved out here to California. And I thought I would go to these gay bars. I would see these go-go boys. I would give these go-go boys a few of my dollars. I might sleep with a couple of these go-go boys because I gave them my credit card number. Whatever. We don't need to know the details. But I will say, I beat myself up all the time thinking I wasn't with somebody because
you were overweight.
I was overweight and I wasn't this huge, big, buff gym queen. It doesn't. When I started dating and people started being interested in me is when I loved myself and I loved the person that I was. There is a direct correlation of people being attracted to me.
Yeah,
don't you see the difference?
Yep.
And I'm telling you, if Ella truly because you can tell she is broken.
Yeah, self-love is what's missing.
And I'm telling y'all, if you can tell yourself, read your own books or do the work that you need to do. Tell your self-doubt to go fuck itself in a corner with your dildo. Whatever.
Because she's broken, but what she's going to be 10 to 20 pounds, if she loses 10 to 20, she's going to be a broken person who's lost 20 pounds.
Yes.
And you can still look like, I mean, I've lost a certain amount of weight, but I feel it doesn't matter if you're the same person inside.
You're going
to always
person
feel
inside.
like that you're not skinny enough because there is no amount of weight loss that's going to make you whole.
No.
That's going to make you feel better about it. That may change the outside. I promise you, unless you do the work on it, you're going to still feel exactly the same.
It's why when a lot of people they don't do this, and it's a state by state thing, and sadly they don't do it in a lot of states, but in California and some other states, they require people that have weight loss, gastric bypass and things like that to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Because it's been found people that don't do that a lot, they could lose a bunch of weight. And then they end up being they have all the same. I have a really good friend who she had a popular podcast that was about, she actually was more confident when she was big, like she was about Ella's size. Mm-hmm. She now has lost like 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But she had a podcast. It was really popular when it was bigger. Well, I forgot what the podcast is called. It was called like, dating fat or fat. It was about being fat and dating.
Yeah.
I'm using the word fat because that was the word she
Yeah,
used.
that's the way people.
She lost all the weight and suddenly no one wanted to listen to her podcast anymore. Mm-hmm. And she was like, who am I? I don't know. And she actually lost so much confidence and had to regain that back being slim.
Yeah.
So it's such a good example.
But I just want to talk about weight loss goals. I think it was so great that the trainer said, what are your fitness goals?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she didn't correct Ella when she's like, I want to lose 10 pounds. And when I talked with my trainer and they're like, what do you want? Do you want to be stronger? Yes, obviously you want to take down some of your weight. Where do you want to, how do you want to feel about yourself? How do you want to, what are you looking for? And I always say, and what my working with my trainer is like, the goals that he's like, so you're telling me you want to be healthy, you want to be at your healthiest, you want to be strong, you want to kind of avoid pain and things like that. Yes. He's like, because all of the other goals will be taken care of by those.
Yes.
It's like, so when you're saying I want to lose this much in a weight, he's like, it won't satisfy you.
And it's not
At the
really
end.
something to work towards. So it's like, when I first started doing Pilates, I told my Pilates teacher, I noticed when I put my shoes on in the morning, I have to sit down to put my shoes on. I kind of want to be able to like put my shoes up and lift a leg up and have the balance.
That's a great goal.
And guess what? I felt so great the first time I did that. Mm-hmm. And so things like that, activities you can do, not pounds anyway.
Yeah.
We should break to a commercial and say, we're sponsored by Weight Watchers or something
We're
like that.
not.
Or Noom or something, but we're not.
But no, what I was going to say is, but again, I just want to reiterate what you said. It's unless
it
you
broke my
change-
heart when she said that and she believed it.
Unless you change what's inside, it's not going to matter how much you lose.
No.
Again, I can't say that enough. And you're right. I believe us, y'all. Even when you lose weight, you might feel great. The same demons are going to come back.
They are.
I was down. I'm thinner than I was, but I'm heavier than I was too. I've been thinner, but I feel stronger at this weight, and so it's going to be a slower process of me figuring out. Like when I was like in the 160s, I felt I was very, very thin, but I wasn't really happier. Mm-hmm. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
So it's y'all. If you think you can get through this life without working on yourself, and you think you're going to be happy without working on yourself, you're not. You're incorrect.
I'm telling you now.
It takes a lot.
And I'm telling you now, because I've seen this with my father. Y'all, this is true. If you don't work on your childhood trauma, it will take you out. Mm-hmm. It will take, and I mean, in that when you get older, you won't be able to deal with the things life throws at you.
Or you'll be like Mother Poodle and have so much anxiety at the end of the trip, you can't enjoy any of it.
And when things happen, body breaking down, things like that, I'm telling you that it'll take you out. It'll take you out. Anyway, so that's the show. No, I'm kidding.
No, let's just wait to the end. So you guys, she gets a call or gets a text. Johnny's visa's been denied for the Singapore visa. She's, of course, devastated because this is the one thing she's been working toward.
Well, she also said, the thing is, I like Ella. I actually like Ella. I know that, like I said on the live show, people are like, she's fetishizing Johnny. I'm like, Johnny's fetishizing her. Like, I kind of give them... I don't love to see that, but at the same time, I'm like, I both give them a pass on that. Not a pass, but whatever. But she even said about Johnny, we said this earlier, she said, and this is going to be hard for her. She said, I'm worried that Johnny's not being very direct. I'm worried that he's trying to be polite and he doesn't want to affect me or ruffle any of my feathers. So she's worried that he's not. That's very good of her to realize because that is Johnny. That's part of his culture is to not be direct.
Right.
And that's going to be the worst thing for her because she's just going to be second guessing herself so bad. And I do feel for Ella because she also said, I remember this too. Y'all, I remember Ella said she often leaves the gym because she feels like people are staring at her. And so that broke my heart too. And I know that like the thing that helped me a lot going to gym, honestly, is when we went to that boot camp. Mm-hmm. Because I'd been to gyms before by myself. And y'all, and I know you're probably thinking, Matt, y'all, because Poodle and I have a little pounds, but we're not like obese and like we don't get, and I understand that's.
We're not super.
I have family members that are obese.
We're not over 100 pounds.
Yes,
obese.
I've had family members I go out with that will get stared at and things like that. And so people, when I was a little kid, used to stare at my dad and people would make fact jokes about him and stuff like that. And call him a plumber or lazy plumber and all that kind of shit. And
Was lazy plumber something people threw around?
yeah, plumber used to be like a joke job because of plumber's crack and all that. It was seen as a joke job, but my dad never hurt for money, and so
There you go.
there you go. As he said, everybody's always going to keep shitting, and I'm going to have to deal with it.
Wow.
And anyway, but I would just want to say the whole this idea though that well, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh well, that's the show. Well, there we go. We ended on the,
So
with Ella. Go with a buddy. That was I would go to the gym. I don't know how you would feel, but
No, it was much easier to go
when
with
you're
someone
a
else.
feminine boy. You go to a gym, which is
What do
like,
you mean a feminine boy?
But for gay men, that's where a lot of gay men go to. Y'all, just to give you a little bit of history, a lot of this gym gay culture didn't start happening until the
60s
80s.
and 70s and 80s,
The
yeah.
80s, really. Late 70s and 80s when men started getting HIV and AIDS, and they would look frail and weak. And so men did a lot of that, this big bulking up to like look strong.
Right.
Well, so now that
and because it fetishized the body,
The
and
body.
your masculinity.
And to be hyper, and y'all, I can't tell you how many times of clients I've seen therapy, big buff gay guys who always say, like they're the first person that said it, I think I built up this muscular exterior to hide the inside. And that's great. I'm glad that a lot of them had said it because they're not alone in that. But it was just, the whole point of this, if you're scared of going to the gym like Ella, go with a buddy. Because when I went to a boot camp class and the trainer asked all of us, who's a beautiful Argentinian man named Bernardo, who I know has a huge dick. Huge, and he's beautiful and buff. And he asked everybody, what did they eat for breakfast that morning before they came? And Jake said, I think a hard-boiled egg. I said an apple and half of a muffin. I ate the whole muffin. And then this little twink besides us looks right at Bernardo. What does he say, Poodle?
Gum.
And just smacks his gum with his 0% body fat. It's good to have your best girlfriend in the gym to make you. We just looked at each other and we felt a lot less alone. So go to the gym with a friend. A lot of you are doing January New Year's resolutions.
And the other thing I could say, if you want to do New Year's resolutions, I've read this today. Make routines, not resolutions.
Yeah,
I loved that.
Really, did you see what's her name's Instagram? Reese Witherspoon's. She talked.
No, I saw that somewhere.
Well, everybody's reading that new book, Atomic Habits. That book is everywhere right now.
But no, I was just going to say, I would say instead of pounds, talk about healthy routines. If you're doing something for yourself that'll make you feel healthier, to feel better about yourself. If you're not, you don't have to see it on the scale. Maybe. Make something you can do to better yourself that's going to make you feel healthier. Maybe it's diet related, maybe it's cardio related, but just think about it feeling better instead of being obsessed with numbers on a scale.
Yes. And if you do have to go to a gym alone, although a lot of people aren't going to gyms right now, but if you had to go to a place where you feel like people are watching you, y'all, I had two friends today, they went to the live show and they bought shirts of us. I'm not saying you have to buy a shirt, but you can.
You need to buy a shirt because I don't want to carry that shit around. My shoulder hurts.
but if you do get a shirt that says,
I'm not as young as I used to be.
That says "Keep Going Queens," or if you don't have a shirt, just know if we're in your ears that you are not alone. And
you are not alone.
Who cares if those people are staring at you?
You are not alone.
We can't sing that song anymore.
That's true.
We sang that in show choir, though. Dennis Gothard did a solo on that. It was really good.
With his nub.
He did have with his nub. Anyway, you are not alone. We're there with you wherever you are. We call these people Lonely Heart. Oh, wait, I have another announcement. This is a long show. I forgot.
This show is 4 hours long.
I need to tell you something, and I briefly mentioned this, but I need to tell you this because tomorrow when we podcast, I'm going to show up to podcast with you, and I'm going to have Invisalign.
Adult braces.
I'm
Actually, that's not adult braces.
I'm getting Invisalign, so just know there's going to be these little clear knobs on my teeth.
You don't have to wear them when we podcast.
I'm supposed to wear it 20 hours a day.
20?
Yes, and the more I take it off, the longer. So I'm going to have to podcast with Invisalign, and it's going to affect the way I speak.
Well, I will already start thinking of things to say.
I told you all this on the air because I worried if I didn't tell you during the show, you would scream in my face. So we call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places, y'all?
Yes, and if you have a problem with your boyfriend's jizz cannon, that he might be spurting it into you too soon, like a sprinkler, call us.